Let me tell you how she massaged the hell out of them yesterday. Oh, we're live.
Oh, oh, oh.
We're live. Y'all be missing the in-studio stuff. Y'all be missing the pre-show. We be pre-gaming over here. But let this video connect so that I can grab the link and put it in our group so that the community can conveniently join us in the YouTube live chat. Let me see here. Oh, it's been giving me the link all week. I sure appreciate it, YouTube, because I don't be in the mood to fight. I really don't. All right. Okay, we got that in the group. Cool beans. All right. Now we can really get started. So good morning. Welcome to Unlock Your First Six Figures Morning Show. And we were shouting out our group. If you want to know about that group, if you are a solopreneur or an entrepreneur that is struggling to get to your first six figures in business, you need to be in that group. Go to shaycannon.info/group. Get in the group. We have 3 pillars of content. Value. Number 1 is we commune and actually build community. Number 2, we collaborate. We come together and make each other's businesses better and make money together. Number 3, we have conversations that are transformational for your business growth, which is important, quite like this morning show. So you need to be in the group, shaycannon.info/group. Let's get started, y'all. Almost everything that we do here on the morning show is surrounding a blog, okay? A blog. This week's blog is at shaycannon.com/books, because what we're talking about are the top 4 books for solopreneur business growth, all right? It's a lot of information in books, y'all. A lot of the information that I'm able to break down and make sense for you so that you can take action, I get from books. I get from a lot of sources, but a lot of it I get from books. So books are awesome. So I picked 4 that I feel like will help specifically solopreneurs. That means you don't have a team. Some of y'all have a small team, but you still feel like you don't have a team. You're still doing a whole bunch of work. It's for you too, okay? Now, the first book that we talked about was Profit First. So if you don't know how to pay yourself, if you don't know how to make sure that your business is profitable with the numbers, then that is the book for you. Go to part 1 that was on Monday and get that replay and see all the things we talked about that book, Profit First, the things you need to know. And we even gave you action steps from the book. All right. The next thing we talked about was yesterday. We talked about the book Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman. And it's about operations. Y'all know I'm a chief operating officer. That's what I do, operations. So you guys call it business management, but a lot of you get into business and you don't have business acumen. This book is going to help you go back and recapture some of those operational skill sets that you need. And I even gave you 10 actionable steps. So go back to yesterday's replay. That was part 2 for the book Traction. Today, we're going to talk about the book Company of One. Why staying small is the next big thing for business, okay? This is by Paul Jarvis. Paul Jarvis, y'all. Now, let me tell you what I like about this book. I like this book, and I picked it for solopreneurs specifically because some of y'all are so ready to move on to make your company bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but you may or may not have maximized everything you could do at the size and capacity that it is. So what happens is when you go bigger, you're exposing all of these holes and problems and all of this stuff because you tried to get bigger without handling everything in the business, right? So what I like about this book is it kind of is one of those, y'all see the posts on social media, no unpopular opinion, right? So everybody's talking about growth and getting bigger. And this book is talking about staying smaller and maximizing all the capacity you can for staying smaller, okay? So it's a unique and refreshing perspective on business growth, making it an essential read for solopreneurs. Unlike traditional business books that push for constant scaling and expansion, this one argues that staying small can be the most sustainable, profitable, and fulfilling approach for a lot of entrepreneurs. All right. So let's talk about the key insights of the book. Number 1, redefine success through staying small, right? Again, society tells you getting bigger, and unless we're talking about weight, society is telling you getting bigger is a sign of success. You're not successful until you've gotten bigger. So what this book is telling you is, hey, tie your success to being good. Tie your success to other things other than just getting a bigger company. Success is the notion that success is tied to constant growth in size and revenue. For solopreneurs, this message is empowering because it highlights that growth doesn't mean adding employees all the time. It doesn't mean increasing operational complexity all the time. Okay. So instead, success can come from optimizing and perfecting a manageable lean business that provides freedom and sustainability. So often you don't have the desire or resources to build massive companies. So he's showing you how staying small is okay, and how it can be a significant advantage, right? I will tell you that that growth is great, but growth has levels, right? And sometimes we overreach to get to a next level. That's just a milestone. But until you perfect the level that you're on, grabbing for more levels is going to be stressful. It's going to actually take away your freedom. Oftentimes, it's going to actually take away your profit, right? I have worked with many a seven-figure business that it sounds good that they're bringing in 7 figures in revenue, but the profits are awful because of all the things they have going on in the business that are complex that don't have to be. Okay, so keep that in mind. Another insight is focus on efficiency over expansion. Okay, focus on efficiency over expansion. So one of the core messages of this book is the idea that efficiency comes before growth, right? Which means get good at what you're doing at the level you own before you start making it bigger. All right. So by nature, you as solopreneurs, you have even more limited time and limited resources than other levels of small business. So he provides actionable insights on how to streamline your processes, improve client relations, and make smarter decisions about where to allocate your energy and your resources. And Lord knows we need that, right? So this allows solopreneurs to focus on doing less and doing it better. All right. Number 3, the power of long-term relationships. Okay. Solopreneurs often rely on a few key clients or customers for their revenue, right? For me, for the longest time, it was only my retainer clients that was who I relied on. I'm in a transition of going from retainer clients and my service over to my coaching side, right? And having members. Company One, this book emphasizes the importance of nurturing these relationships, all right? Instead of chasing new business constantly, he advocates for building stronger, longer lasting connections with the people you already have a relationship with and people that are already your clients. So this approach allows you to provide higher quality service while avoiding burnout, right? So if you have a service, you can keep the same client by predicting what do they need next and giving them that rather than what you gave them already, finding a new client to give that to them. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. All right. Sustainability as a success metric. Let me tell you how this is not done enough, in my opinion. So sustainability in business is critical. Okay. In fact, the author argues that a business doesn't have to be big to be sustainable. By focusing on profitability, work-life balance, and efficient operations, you can build a longer lasting business that doesn't drain you physically or financially. Okay, so think about it that way. So the concept of sustainability extends to basically what are you doing for you and your business to stay alive, but thrive another day, right? We don't just want to be in survival mode. We want to thrive. Okay, so that is redefine your thoughts on sustainability. All right. Last but not least, leveraging technology and automation. So what we know is we hire tech before we hire people. We already know that around here on the morning show. But the author says technology can enable solopreneurs to run highly efficient businesses without the need for a large team. Okay, doesn't mean you don't have any team, because at some points you have kind of effectively grown within your capacity and you have to get people, right? But have you already done everything at your capacity, use all the technology? Because if you're like Shawana Kennedy she at the teen phase. She can't get over it. She has fulfilled her capacity. She is using tech. She's at the teen phase, right? But some of you have not done enough on your own. You have not done enough with tech. And so just reaching for another person is not where it's at. Okay. So leverage technology to be more efficient rather than have a large team. By using tech and tools to automate repetitive tasks, you can free up your time and focus on high value work that only you can do. Okay. And that should be the sentiment that you take over when you get in teams. You do the things that only you can do, and they do the things that, are less valuable and that you don't have to do. All right. Now, that was from the blog. In the morning show, we give you more. So I have 10 actionable steps. I want you to listen up because I want to know, keeping in mind, company of one, which one do you think is the best game changer for you? Okay. Number one, actionable step. You need to define your own version of success. Okay. I really had to do that. And this is why I decided I wanted to go more on my coaching side and make it a priority and start to sunset my service side. Okay. Because I had to decide what was my ideal of success. And it's not money, right? Because you can make a bunch of money and don't have the life to where you're spending it and happy. And that's not what I want. I could have been hit 7 figures if I had just kept taking clients on my service side. If I had just kept, because they were coming. Baby, I built that name up. I was award winning. I had the right network and they were coming. And I recognized that's not my ideal of success though. That is not my dream. So you have to redefine your own version of success. So decide what success looks like for you as a solopreneur. This can be financial independence. It could be freedom to work on projects that bring you joy. It could be maintaining work-life balance. That's one of mine. And so rather than focusing on scaling a business or how much money, right? Because sometimes we have this figure of 6 figures and 7 figures and 8 figures, but we don't really have an assignment for that money anyway. So we don't really know how that would change our life. Right? We don't really know if it fits into the type of life we want to live. We just know it's more money. Well, and sometimes it's more money, more problems. So you have to define success. Like, what do you want the money for? Right? Because sometimes the things you think it take money to live a life, you can have that life without all that money. So decide what success is for you. Number 2, focus on efficiency over growth. How do you do that? Streamline your operations by automating repetitive tasks. Okay. Simplify your workflow. Sometimes when you're doing things, it's steps in there that don't need to be. I need you to take everything down to its lowest terms, the fewest amount of steps to get it done. Right? Some of y'all be doing all this extra stuff because you think that's a part of your secret sauce. But if you ask the client, they probably would rather do without that thing because it took you longer to get them what they actually paid for. They could have done without that. Right? So think about that. What can simplify the workflow? All right. Prioritize doing fewer things by doing them better rather than expanding too quickly and adding more steps. Okay. And making it just unnecessary complex. All right. Number 3. Nurture long-term client relationships, all right? Invest in building strong long-term relationships with your existing clients rather than constantly chasing new ones. Also, a part of that nurturing can be the law of reciprocity. You're giving them stuff. You can ask them for stuff, right? Ask them for more clients that's like them, right? Who do they know that need what you have? Okay. But deliver exceptional value to these clients and turn them into loyal customers who generate repeat business. Okay. And that repeat business can be theirs or others. All right. Love it. Number 4, embrace the power of no. Y'all know I love that word. It's one of my favorite words. So say no to opportunities, projects, and clients that do not align with your goals, values, and capacity. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, there's a way to say no. There's a way to say not right now. Okay. So some of you think that it's okay to take everybody's money, even though you don't know when you're going to get to them to service them. That's not okay. Okay. But also it is okay to before you take somebody's money, let them know, hey, by the way that I have my queue set up, I would be able to get to you on this date. Would you like to do a deposit to hold this date? Right? So just because you can't get to them right now doesn't mean that you can't get a deposit to hold a spot to get to them. Just you get their agreement before you get their money is what it is. We got to have some morals around here. All right. So, but No, if it's not what you want, if it's not, I mean, that's what I've had to do, right? I mean, my revenue took a big hit when I decided to go on my coaching side, because everything that I had done was to grow my service side. And when it grew to a point that where I decided this is not success for me, that's all that was coming my way, right? That's all that was coming to me. And so I had to say no. No, like, oh, no. Even the ones that wanted to pay that high rate, that high fee, no. Because if I keep doing what I don't want to do just for money, I'm never going to get to what I do want to do. Yeah, I do want to do. Okay. But that's not making the money right now. You have to then just decide that, first of all, I'm going to put my focus where I want my company to be. Because where your focus goes is where your energy goes, is what grows. Okay. Ooh, all of that rhyme. Bars. So learn to say no. All right. Number 5, use technology to stay small. You need to be out here researching everything that you need something to do that you don't want to do, and something you're thinking about hiring somebody to do. Start off with trying to find a tech that does it first. Okay. Try to find the tech that does it first. ChatGPT is great at recommending tech. Did you know that? Yeah, I tell it all the time. Hey, this is something that I'm doing manually. Is there some tech out there that can help me? Right? And take advantage of the free trials. Stop just signing up when you're thinking about it, and sign up at a time when you can actually work it during the free trial, so you can decide, is this going to work for you before you start paying? Stop just signing up for stuff. Wait until you can actually work it during the free trial. All right. Now, number 6, profitability over size. Focus on profit, okay, rather than expanding your business. Because let me tell you what happens. The number one problem that most solopreneurs and entrepreneurs have, small businesses have, is your pricing is jacked up. It's too low. It can't handle a bunch of stuff. Okay. So before you go expanding your business and getting more tech to help you expand, or even getting a team, okay, check that pricing. Is that pricing able to hold that? And are you still able to pay yourself? Go back to the book Profit First from Monday, right? But you need to be looking at, can your pricing hold all the things that you want to do? Okay. I've added, so we have the membership. The membership is at $97. I've added more things, but guess what? It's coming on the horizon. Next month, we're taking the price up. Now, those that got in at the prices they got in, $97, great, but we taking it up. And the more we keep adding to it, the more we're going to take it up, because otherwise it's going to eat into the profit. If it takes more time for me to do something, right? If it takes me getting more tech that I got to pay for, it's taking away the money that's left over to pay myself, or the profit, right? So you got to start looking at that. Profit over size. Every time you're adding something, how does that eat into your profit margin? You got to look at it that way. Number 7, build a sustainable workload. Okay. Some of y'all don't know your capacity. Now, I don't want you to charge by the hour per se, but I want you to know how many hours it takes you to do something. Okay. I want you to know how many of these jobs and projects you can take at a time. Yeah, I know life be lifing, but on a regular day, in a normal week, how much can you get done? You're supposed to know your own capacity so that you don't go over it, right? Some of y'all don't understand that you're not at capacity enough to be hiring a team. You're not doing all you can do just yet. Learn what your capacity is. Also, when you start to go over that capacity, is yes, when you start to look for technology, you start to look at team, but even with the technology, what's the new capacity? With the team, what's the new capacity? Because we want to know when we got to double up again, right? But we need to run on capacity before we start adding people and things. But you got to know your capacity, okay? So build a sustainable workload, create a sustainable schedule that prevents burnout by managing your capacity. Set clear boundaries, work hours, ensure that you're taking time for rest and personal well-being. Y'all know I'm queen boundary, right? I'm queen boundary. Like you're not going to dip into what I need for myself at all. But some of you are not setting your business up to have a balance. We know that there are going to be times when you have to work late. We know there are going to be times when you have to work maybe and don't get an off day this week. We know that there are going to be times, but that should not be the norm. Okay, so build a sustainable workload. Number 8, outsource and delegate non-essential tasks. That's where a lot of people start, especially when you are a solopreneur. Okay, when you have more money, more capital, you can start with hiring a decision maker. Right? You can start with, because see, that's what big corporations do. They put the C-suite in place first. Then they let the C-suite hire for their departments, their leaders, and then they let the leaders hire for the doers. That's corporations. They have way more capital than us. So depending on how your business is set up, you can't hire a decision maker first. You might have to start with a doer that you have to tell what to do. But guess what? That means even more, start with the non-essential tasks. Right? Start with the non-essential tasks. So the ones that are administrative, the ones that might be managing something that has all the strategy has been done already, right? Outsource those, delegate it to virtual assistants, freelancers, whatever. Start looking at everything that does not take your secret sauce as a possible thing to delegate to somebody else, okay? Number 9, experiment and innovate on a small scale. I have learned this the hard way. Some of y'all be launching stuff in a big way and you ain't tested it. You don't know if people want it. Didn't nobody ask you for it. All the things, but you spend all this money to launch it, all this time to launch it. And sometimes you might just need to get a little quiet beta group, okay? And see how it goes before you do it in a big way, okay? So test new ideas, products, and services on a small scale before committing fully. This is where you hear people a lot say, sell it before you create it. Now, I do have a problem with that because, see, some of y'all don't know how to create fast enough. So I don't want you to sell it first. I'd rather you create it first, but just create a smaller version of it. But if you're one of those people that it takes you a long time to put stuff together, don't take people's money when you can't give them a date and stick to the date of when the thing is going to be ready. Okay. So I love the idea, the theory of, sell it before you create it. However, if you don't know how to create things fast enough, efficiently enough, so those people don't feel gypped, don't do that. Okay. But you can create a smaller version of it and just sell it. All right. So test it first. This reduces risk and allows you to iterate based on feedback. You can make it better. Right. All right. Last but not least, stay true to your core values. Okay. I'm going to even add in there, stay true to your clarity. Y'all know we about to do clarity clinic next week. Stay true to your clarity. Some of y'all, and I hear it all the time, y'all have heard it on the morning show. This is my core audience, my core ideal client, but so-and-so also came and asked me to do something, or so-and-so, this other segment of people wanted this. It does not mean that you change all of your stuff to now include those people. You attracted them without including them. You can attract more without including them as the focus, okay? So stay true to your core values. Keep your business aligned with your core values and mission. Ensure every decision, every client, every project fits your vision for your business. That's going to be a hard lesson to learn. I'm going to tell you, when you go outside of your core values and your core people you wanted to work with, and you start trying to work with these other people, or you start trying to bring your prices down to accommodate folks who beg you, right? Okay, you're going to find out the hard way. That ain't where it's at. Those people are the hardest. The people that pay the less are the hardest people to work for. They want, baby, them folks be wanting all the white glove service for $9.99. Let me tell you, okay? But also, when you start working for clients that are outside the scope of who you committed to work for, it changes everything, because everything was set up for the client that you wanted to work for. And when you start accepting clients that are not who you set things up for, you got to reset stuff. And that's not where it's at. Right? When you start working outside of the clarity that you have for your business, what you find is all that stuff you took the time and energy to set up for the clarity that you had may or may not work out for this new thing you're trying to do. So stay true. All right, let's go back through the 10. I want y'all to listen out for the one that you think is going to be most impactful. Define your own version of success. Focus on efficiency over growth. Nurture long-term client relationships. Embrace the power of no. Use technology to stay small. Profit over expansion. Build a sustainable workload. Know your capacity is what that one was. Outsource or delegate non-essential tasks first. Experiment and innovate on a small scale first. And last but not least, stay true to your core values and clarity. So I would love to know which of these is going to be most impactful for you. Over on the YouTube side, good morning, Keith. Good morning, Chantilly. And we got Shawana Mack over there. Good morning. So you guys in the live YouTube chat, go ahead and tell me which of the 10 do you know will be game changing for your business. All right, we're going to start with Shawana Kennedy, Kennedy Media. Which one of these 10 do you know you need to start implementing for your, what is it? Company of one?
Okay. I got a call, so I need you to just give a quick run of the list, honestly. I just heard my name and I said, oh, shoot.
No problem at all.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Shawana. Dr. Kachi, which one on the list of 10 do you know will be game changing for you?
Sheesh, only one. The whole list is
Give me more than one, but the one that you know is just it.
Outsource.
Outsource. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I love that one. Did you have another one? Because I know you have an internship cycle set up to help to outsource.
Yes.
Was there another one?
I would the efficiency over growth.
Yes.
And using
like
tech
that
to
one.
stay small.
I like that one. I like that one. All right. Dr. Toya, which one of the 10 do you see will be a game changer for you with your company of one?
So I just need a recap. I'm sorry.
Y'all recap, folks. All right, let's go to Dr. LaFera. Dr. LaFera, which one of 10 do you know will be a game changer for you, for your company of one?
So, well, all of these are good. But I can say what has already been a game changer is for me to define my own version of success. Because that has affected, like, the amount of time that I spent on developing, like, the offer that I wanted to put out versus, like, what other people expected me to do because I'm a doctor. Like, I don't want to be a doctor with this offer. I want to be like, someone who actually, makes a different type of change than doctors, but use my doctor experience to help me to do that. So
yeah,
that's like been the biggest. And then like the staying small and embracing technology. Cause I need to master a lot of stuff, like the marketing stuff. So I've been building my own stuff out versus hiring somebody to do it because now I know how to do it. And then I'll be ready to hire somebody once I see it work. Because mentally I'll like, that'll make me feel better and make me push further, knowing that I can do it, and I know what they're doing.
I like that. And, to add on to that is sometimes y'all don't know who to hire or if they're doing well if you don't know how to do it, right? Or at least as dangerous with it. Just be a little dangerous with it. Just dangerous enough to know enough, right? So I love that, Dr. LaFera. Thank you for that add-on. Debbie, which one of the 10 would be game-changing for your company of one? Let's see if Debbie can come off the mic.
Yeah. I think number 9, you said experiment. What is it? Try things out. Yeah, so I've been doing that because certain services that I don't have outlined have come to me, and of course I can do it. So I'm like, all right, let me do it. Maybe it'll turn into something. So I'm testing out some things. So we'll see.
Gotcha. All right, Kimberly, you can put yours in the studio chat. So now let's recap for Toya and Shawana Kennedy and everybody else, because I'm sure they're not the only ones that need to recap. So we got 10 actions to help you with your company of one. Number one, define your own version of success. Number two, focus on efficiency over growth. Number three, nurture long-term client relationships. Number four, embrace the power of no. Number five, use technology to stay small. Number six, profit over expansion. Number seven, build a sustainable workload. That's also where I said know your capacity. Number eight, outsource and delegate non-essential tasks first when you start to build a team. Number nine, experiment and innovate on a smaller scale. Don't go big with something you haven't tested yet. Number 10, stay true to your core values and the clarity that you have. All right. So that was the recap of the 10. So Kimberly, you can put yours in the studio chat. Let's go to Cheryl. Cheryl, which one of the 10 would be game changing for your company of one? Make sure Cheryl, you ain't fell asleep on us, happy Cheryl. Cheryl might have, y'all know Cheryl be working overnight. Okay, we'll go to Teray. Teray, which one of the 10 would be game changing for your company of one?
Well, I have a top 3.
Okay.
I think my number 1 is probably define my own version of success. I think you know for sure, just from the conversations I've been having with you in the past year, that I've been struggling with deciding what I need my business to do for me. Why do I even want to be here? What's the purpose? You know what I mean? I have a passion for business. I always have. But I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to be working my business 16 hours a day, 8 days a week. I'm not here for that. So what do I need my business to work for? It's not about money for me. So that I need to decide what my success is. I think I know. I need to figure that out. But also, you mentioned something that I hadn't thought of. I need to experiment and innovate on a small scale. Because even though I know my audience, even though I know what they need, I think I know what they need more than they think what they want. Does that make sense? Like I'm able to, it's like with my kids. My kids think they know what they need. And I'm like, that's not what you need. You need this. And so I'm like, this is what you need. I know what you need. But my audience, it's not the same type of relationship. Okay, that's not what you need. This is what you need. They're like, no, that's not what we want. That's the one, not what we're asking you for. That's not what we're going to pay for. We're an audience. We're not your kids. You know what I mean? So I need to experiment and innovate. I need to experiment on, okay, hey, ladies, this is what I'm offering. I'm going to take, if 10 of you think this is a good thing, I'll, how many of you want to sign up for this? And I need to start small instead of putting all my energy into what I believe they need versus what they want. So that is key for me.
And also don't forget that a part of it is also, we have to sell them what they want and wrap in what they need. Right? Because if you only try to sell them what they need, but they have not identified with that as something valuable, they're not going to buy it, even though that's what they need to get what they want. Right. So we always advertise it heavily on the side of what they want, and we give them what they want, but we wrap in what they need so they truly get the transformation that they want. So
or at least the
like you said, you might have to test that to see what combination, what words, what messaging actually attracts. So yes. Yeah. Cool beans. All right. Heather, you've patiently been waiting, Heather. Which one out of the 10 do you know will be a game changer for your company of one?
So I think focusing on the profit over growth would be the number 1. Number 2 is define my version of success. I have a mostly good idea of what that is, but I need to be more definitive. And then, sustainable workload would be great.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. And again, every time you add tech, every time you add a team, you got to go back and see what that capacity is. Just like you got to go back and see what the pricing needs to be, right? So every time we change something, we need to go back and look at the information we thought we had and knew. Okay, cool. Let's go back to Cheryl. Cheryl, are you available to tell us which of the 10 will be game changing for your company of one?
Yes, when you started talking about the insights, I already knew, and it is the redefining success. One of the reasons, actually, I am in a cohort where a woman has just done that. I mean, well, not just, she's done it since 2015, and she makes it work. And I mean, she's making a lot of money, but she gets to have the lifestyle that she wants it, and that pays into that freedom without having so many encumbrances. And she's very clear on what works for her and what doesn't. And I think it was you that said something last week about clarity equaling cash.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because it's not only cash, it's peace. And you know, the profit is going to come. I got to be happy. What was that thing they say? If mom ain't happy, nobody ain't happy. If I'm not happy, then I'm not going to be able to serve my clients in the best possible way. So that's been a business model that I've been working on, working towards since last year. And it's very freeing. So I'll leave it at that.
Love it. Love it. All right. Shawana, you want to come off the mic and tell us what would be game changing for your company of one, or you want me to read what you put in the chat?
Yes, no, I'll say the words. I will, because
Okay.
my mind needs to hear my voice say it, and I need to continue to put it in the atmosphere. Amen.
Yes, yes.
Continue to focus on my efficiency over expansion at this point, while staying true to my clarity and my values, because that, like you said, I heard you mention in part of your open, I am at that. And so I'm really leaning hard in doing the things that we've been talking about and you've been pushing me to for the last year. And that's where the vein that I'm finna ride real heavy right up and through here. So yeah, I think that's what's best for me right now.
Yeah. And I think it also, like I wasn't even thinking about this book when I told you, I think it was last week or the week before, that maybe you start with a VA that does all the admin stuff rather than trying to start with the graphic designer. So this model of what they're talking about actually says the same, right? So maybe you start there and then let them help you to kind of do more processes around what the actual graphic role would do, and then bring in the graphic role later. So I love that for you. All right. We have Dr. Toya had to jump off, but she says she needs to stay true to her values. We got Kimberly, who y'all know is at the Dream Funder, but she said, define success. I need to really see it in my head, cultivate long-term customer relationships, get a lot of orders by word of mouth, leverage tech, since it's just me. Yes, definitely. I need to know these things that will make it easier for me until my budget allows for help. Lastly, definitely stay true to my core values. I love that, Kimberly. Love it, love it, love it. And I think I got everything out of the chat. So let's go over here to YouTube, because YouTube been over here talking back to us. So Shantali said, you flat foot preaching today. Thank you for adding so much value. You are so welcome. And then she says, it's okay to create the product before you sell it. If you like to take your time to create, that idea is liberating. Know how long it takes you to get things done. Okay, so let's tweak that just a little bit. If it takes you a long time to create the product, make sure that these people know what time it's going to take before you take their money. Okay, so you definitely need to know how long it takes you to create. But if it's going to take you a long time, because, you know, we're in the microwave society. When we buy stuff, we want what we bought, right? So if it's going to take you a while, you need to let them know before they give you their money. Otherwise, you're going to be issuing refunds. Okay. And you're going to damage your reputation. She said, also focus on nurture the clients you have. Yep, most definitely. And then Keith came in and said, stay true to my core values and maintain my long-term relationships with my clients and affiliates. Love it. Yes, I love this book. I think it's like those posts that start off saying unpopular opinion, right? I love this book because it gives you a different way to think about growing your business and what that growth looks like as a successful thing for you. So that by the time you actually start doing more complex things, you've actually kind of worn out all the simple stuff first. And that's what we want. I have seen, companies that have grown too fast, right? Because at the end of the day, when you have these lofty goals but you start to situate the company to handle the lofty goals before the goals are fulfilled, you're taking a chance because you don't have the money coming in yet to sustain that, right? And if your prediction is incorrect, that's how you get into a hole, right? Now, I also have an unpopular opinion. I've heard people to say that, it's not sexy to be out of stock. You know what I'm saying? It's not sexy to, have a closed capacity. That's not how you grow a business. I disagree. I don't mind having a closed capacity. I don't mind having exclusive service. You just have to have the right messaging around what you're doing. Okay. Out of stock, fine. Tell them people you have limited supply and actually mean it. You know what I'm saying? Actually mean it. And then what you do after that is you have a waiting list. There are plenty of businesses that do that, right? You have to do things on the scale of where you are and where you can foot the bill. Okay. People that do stuff like, we're going to have this many to get ready for the rush. Well, if you can't sustain that, if that's going to take away from your business, if you don't have a budget for that, if you can't lose that energy, that time, that capital, then you can't do it that way. Period. You have to wait until the business is coming in and then start pulling in stuff. But that's where knowing your capacity comes in, right? As you start nearing the capacity, then you start interviewing. By the time the capacity hits over, now you have somebody to help you. You see what I'm saying? But you can't do that thing fluidly if you don't know what you need to know. But I would rather hit my capacity and start telling people, hey, the next person I can take is this time slot. You can, give a deposit to save this time slot. That's what I do to open my capacity a little bit. And then after that, what you can do is you can say, hey, that gives me time to bring in a team before I start coming to this date. And now let me bring in the team. But you have to do the work to find the team before you need the team too. Right. So you have to already. So sometimes in certain companies, I'll go interviewing before we need that person, so that I have a pool of people that as soon as we're ready, I can dip into that pool and say, hey, can you start on this day? Right. So it's like some nuances to that. Now, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to go to the announcements to give you time to think of your question before we get out of here. So we only have 3. If you want the morning show in your inbox, that means you will get a reminder in the morning to hop on YouTube Live. And in the afternoon, you will get a link to the replay and a link to the show notes. And y'all know I give you more, and that more is in the show notes. So you definitely want the show notes. Go to shaycannon.com/show to sign up. Number 2, I was supposed to have your link ready for the Clarity Clinic. It won't be ready until tomorrow. Y'all can blame the massage from yesterday and the slobbing that happened after that, okay? But your link will be tomorrow. But I did finish my outline of what it is. And baby, I had to calm down. Y'all know how I be trying to give y'all everything. I was like, woo, we about to go past the 97 mark. So I'm trying to make it 47 for the actual success kit. So the Clarity Clinic is free. Okay, but this is what I need you to understand about it. I'm going to give you the concepts. And if you sign up for the success kit, you will have the tools, but I am not going to help you get clarity as far as telling you what your clarity is. Okay. It's not a strategy session. It's a clarity clinic. I'm going to tell you how you should be thinking. I'm going to give you tools to think it out that way. All right. That's why it's free. The success kit are the tools. Those are going to be $47 for everybody. Well, for the community. I'm going to set it at 97 for just strange people, 47 for our community, and 27 for our member. Yeah, Terray, strange people, because, they don't rock with us every day. So y'all are strange. Stranger danger. But anyway, so that's what it's going to be. But I really had to stay focused because I almost put about 3 clinics in one. I really almost, and y'all would have been like, what is this? So I got it pared down. Y'all going to have some, let me just tell you that $47 for them tools. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it because I'm about to tool you out, baby. So that's gonna come tomorrow. So get your 47 ready. Just go on, set it aside. Get your 47 ready. Okay, tomorrow. Today is Wednesday, right? Yes, tomorrow is Thursday. It is going to be the collab live stream that we're doing in the free group, shaycannon.info/group. Get in the group at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time. I am going to live stream into the group, and it is for you. I do not have a presentation. What we're talking about is collaborations. I need you to tell me what you need in your business so we can think around what kind of collaborations you can do to get what you need. If you don't show up, there's no replay to get. Okay, y'all gonna see me sitting there, I don't know, doing it as a work session, because if you don't show up, there's no value to get. You have to show up to get this value. Okay, and we're gonna do this monthly, and I know it's gonna take a minute for it to catch on, but it's worth it because we got over 500 people in our group, and we can get y'all to collaborate together more with more people. Baby, y'all businesses are going to be booming. All right. So those were the 3 show notes. Yes, Dr. Tachi. So does anybody have any questions around, we've talked about 3 books so far, right? We talked about Profit First. We've talked about Traction. And now we've talked about Company of One, right? Tomorrow, by the way, we're getting to a book that's going to tell you about when it's actually time to get team. So that book is called Who, Not How, the formula to achieve bigger goals through accelerating teamwork. Because there does come a point in your business where you can't be learning another doggone thing. You just need to go and hire the person that knows it. Okay. But we're going to max out our company of one first. But then the next step is going to be who, not how. No, you don't need to learn how to do it. You need to hire who knows how to do it. Okay. So that's going to be what we talk about tomorrow. Keith said he's there for the Clarity Clinic. Come on, Keith. I know that's right. All right. Any questions before we get out of here on any of the 3 books, including the one today? What is it? Not Who, Not How. It is Company of One was today. Any questions?
Shay, this is Cheryl. I just wanted to make a comment about the scarcity.
Yes.
With a lot of the writers that want to go the route where they order their own books from a printer and do all that good stuff. And they ordered these inordinate amounts. And, and I tell them, you don't want to do that because your profits, number one, are sitting in the garage and you don't have the audience yet to sell all of that stuff. And it's like, no, I mean, your money is just lying on the floor, and it never fails that, by the time they catch on to that, they're discouraged. They're just, it's like they got to jump start all over again. So real scarcity is a good thing in my book. It works. And I don't believe in blowing smoke anyway. You can tell when it's fake scarcity. I don't have any more room, but I just took 15 more people, and you can be 16. So anyway, but thank you for bringing that up, because that is something that runs rampant through the writing community.
I don't mind running out of stuff. You know what I'm saying? You should have got it when I told you I only had a few. So there's that. And the next time I have some will be this date. So that even works for what Teray was saying with her, smaller, innovative stuff. I only have 10 slots, right? People think I'm playing when I tell people that I only have this many slots, but I prefer smaller groups because I know I can give more in the smaller groups. And so sometimes I give a capacity and I be wanting to reduce it sometimes because I'd be like, ooh, it look like it's about to hit that capacity. I don't know. But yeah, what you want to add, Teray?
No, I was going to add that if I got to be honest, if there were 75 people on your retreat last year, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
But you were like, I only have 10 slots. And I was like, oh, great. There's only going to be 10 of us. And when there was 5 of us, then 4 of us, it was great. It was perfect. And we felt like we got more of Shay. It was more personalized. And I liked it like that.
Yeah. Because as soon as we finalized the number, right? I went back through and was like, okay, this allows me to give more. What does that more look like? Right. So yeah, most definitely.
It was even more personalized than the way you advertised it. You advertised it one way, and then when you found out that only a few of us signed up, you were like, okay, then I'm going to even add even more. And I was even, you know what I mean? It was even greater. But if you were like, oh yeah, 60 people are coming, I would have been like,
yeah. So and again, that's why you have to know what your core values are. right? Because I don't necessarily, when I have to be present, I don't want there to be a whole bunch of people if I don't have a team to help it feel a certain way, right? And so I prefer to cap the capacity so that I can give more in that instance, right? But some people are taught to just sell, figure it out later. That's how you end up with a bad reputation. That's how you end up with people feeling like they want their money back. That's how you feel out with people saying, I went last year. No, You know what I'm saying? So again, that knowing your core values and knowing what your clarity is really comes in when it comes to expanding, because I go back to my core values and my clarity. And I say, if I open it up for more, would I still achieve what I set it to achieve? No, then no, I'm not doing it. Right. So yeah. Kimberly said, I may have missed it. I'm missing so much information. Can you add the link to what, Kimberly?
The Clarity Clinic, I think she's referring to.
Oh, it's coming out tomorrow, Kimberly. It's coming out. The link is coming out tomorrow, but save your, you're in the membership, so save your $27. Look, I know you got it, big baller. Dania over here on YouTube, she said, awesome as always. Hey, everybody. Well, all right, y'all. That's it. Get ready for tomorrow when we close out this series. Who is that talking? Cheryl?
This is Cheryl. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
The small classes, like Jeray was talking about, your retreat.
Yeah.
For 2 years, I've run a workshop class, whatever you want to call it, on that same principle, and it has been incredible. One of the interesting things was I did it by invitation only. And if it filled up with the first group of invitations, that was fine. Otherwise, I'd send out some more. Interestingly enough, and I never gave it any consideration, but many people approach people that were in the class because people talk about it. And they were like, well, how do I sign up? And one of the people kept telling them, you can't. And they, no, there's got to be, no, you can't sign up. It's invitation only. You'd be surprised that, we always talk about the men slipping in our DMs, but those potential clients slip in. But I also look at the client mix. You see what I'm saying? Disruptors, I don't do well with them, and what you're saying there is just like, it is so on target. It's like confirming word, but it's also like serious peace, and you have a lot of fun, and you do build some solid.
Most definitely. I agree, Cheryl. I mean, think about some of the social networks that really took off. They were invitation only. It is okay to be exclusive. It's okay to have limited capacity, all of those things. Try it out. How about that? Try it out. So yeah, but we're getting out of here. Studio is closing in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.